Welcome to the first summer transfer window of the Premier League for Solihull Moors then. And if you like the idea of Solihull Moors in the Premier League, please drop us a like and stick around for a sub. In this episode then we have the next MacLeod. On top of that we have pay rises, we removed the dead wood, a bit of Danish history, and I hope you're as excited for the first 4 games as I certainly am. Today there are no voice clips to listen out for. Instead all I ask is that you stick around until the end of the episode and drop me a like and comment for your end of season final position predicted for Solihull Moors, and I look forward to seeing how true that they may come. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Right, welcome to episode 56 then. Today's obviously the transfer special and that's where we're going to start, I guess. So we're going to look at who joined us in promotion. It was obviously Norwich that won, we came runners up, and Stoke eventually won the playoffs. Moving into the finances then, obviously we saw the initial budget set at 30 million. So we went from 118,000 to 457 or 458,500 per week. As you can see, we are pretty close to that now with a transfer surplus of 200,000. If we was to try and adjust that, it doesn't really give us too much, so we'll just leave it where it is for now. Obviously, majority of that budget then went on some of the players that we had in the club already. So, for example, Arthur Okonkwo is now on 18,000. Brooklyn Linz Foster's now on 13,000. Jamal Baptiste is now on 23. Lewis Orford on 23.5. Kane Taylor 22,000. Joe Powell 19,500. Prove it on 17,000. Joe Tomlinson still on 7,000. So what we did was initially I had to sort of prioritise which ones I really wanted to make sure that they were going to be here for at least the next couple of years, which is why a couple of these at the bottom, from say substitute 5 downwards are not quite as high a wage. Roger Rayleigh I think was pretty much already on that sort of wage when he signed his contract initially, because he was one of the highest earners, if not the highest earner at the time. Moving forward, our stadium is now, it's gone from 11,000 something to 12,500 all season, so it's been increased by 750 seats over the summer. We've had a new, same thing as we normally do, as we've been having lately for whatever reason. We've had a new receiving takeover approach here. In the Carabao Cup, we've been drawn automatically against Oxford City, who are currently sitting in League 1 there. Alright then, so moving into the bulk of the episode then, transfers. So leaving us then, we had Nelson. Okay, so as the season was sort of coming to an end, we've got rid of Kenneth Aitken, William Halford, Nelson Abbey, and then we've had Luca Krosno. We've brought, as you can see over here, for 3 million, and we've loaned him straight back to who he was playing for at the time. He's a striker. He's 20 years old. He's an American. Out on loan at the minute. His 5-star potential, his history shows that he's scored 10 in 31 last that we've seen. So he's gone back to Monterey. He's not doing too good out there at the minute, but that's okay for now. It's a different sort of striker that we're looking at, and to be honest, he was more of a buy him cheap and sell him a bit more expensive, to be honest. But we'll see how he performs maybe after Christmas, if that's the case, and then see what happens from there. Cameron Wood, youth team, left. Neil Jardine's left for 52,000. Sam Eales has gone on 125,000. He was never really nailed on anything for us, so he's left. Adrian Akande, felt like it took ages to get this guy out the door because we tried to sell him last summer, but never happened. Probably for the best, really, to be fair. He actually helped us with promotion in the end. They are paying 10 grand's worth of his wages while he's out on loan. Plus we've got 145 grand. They're giving us 16 grand monthly cost. with an 800 grand future fee optional. Okay, so Kieran Slicker, I decided to get rid of him. He's 26. I didn't realise he was that old, and I'm sticking with my backup keeper, which we'll get to in a bit. As you can see there, it says only sign Slicker as a last resort. And the last out then was Tommy Doyle, who I forced into leaving after putting him in the under-21s because he just did not want to leave. He's gone out on loan. I think there's a potential fee there as well. Loan future fee optional as well, yeah, 425,000. Alright then, that brings us to the ins. So, starting at Luka Krosno, you saw earlier, he's come in and he's gone straight back out. He hasn't even touched down ground in Solihull, I don't think. He just stayed straight out. Kobe Small, one of the players I identified on my spreadsheet quite a while ago. He was shown as 5-star potential, but that's dropped down to 4-star potential now. Previously of Arsenal, with a loan stint at Swansea, as you can see there in Sky Bet League One. We brought him for 200,000, which I thought was actually kind of a steal for what we're getting. Maybe. I suppose the jury's out for that one, maybe. But we'll see. If not, hopefully we can get close to what we've got on this transfer budget of 5 to 5.5 million to sell him, if that is the case. After that, then we've got 1.8 million on Algi Ordinis. This is another guy that we identified on my sheet. He's now worth 9.6 to 13 million with 5-star potential. He's a Chilean. He's an inverted winger on the right hand side. So that's picking up maybe on a Candice sort of duties, though prove it's going to slot in here as well to give a bit of a competition for Prove It, I guess. Previously of Universidad Catalunya, I think I've butchered that, but he was on decent ratings while he was there anyway, last couple of seasons, so I expect to see something happening with that. Tom McIntyre then. This guy, did we have him through the championship? We did not. Right, he played all last season. He played the last few seasons actually, in fact, in championship with Reading. But he's a central defender that just gives us a bit more depth at the back there, especially being 30 years old as well. And a 20 grand, 19,000 per week, that's actually relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things for the Premier League, so that's fine for us. Next then, we've got Adam Anderson. This guy popped up after I signed the last guy and I couldn't pass up on the opportunity. But he also plays on the right hand side, but he does predominantly play for us in a new position with 2 strikers. As you can see, he has got 4-star potential, though it probably will go up, if I'm honest. I would assume that to go up eventually. As you can see at the bottom, there is season stats so far: non-competitive 4 with 3 goals and 1 assist, 7.4 rating. Previously of Leeds, and then we brought in 4.5, so they've doubled their investments. Came from Denmark, did all right over in Denmark, so I expect good things from young Adam Anderson. Joe Haig comes from Chaves, I want to say. I'm not sure, I'm butchering that probably, but he is from London, so he's English, which is fine for us because it counts as our English homegrown thing. He can play along the front 3 there. Not sure how often we're going to be using the attacking midfielder sort of role, but he can cover the left and the right, and we have the attributes that we need realistically to get that sort of over the line. He's got a bit of a age on his side as well, so he's hitting his sort of prime area, so hopefully he can provide a bit of cover for both those positions. I'll leave Joseph Burgess till last. Here we have Amini Uchikmush for 350,000. He's a 3.5-star goalkeeper currently. Sorry, 3-star with 3.5 potential star goalkeeper after Slicker leaving. He comes from MC Alga, RC Lens and all that sort of French sort of side of places. And I thought we'll take a chance on him for him to be our backup goalkeeper. He's going to be our third choice keeper, to be honest with you. This leads us into Dennis Sirkin then. He comes from Sheffield United. There is another player at Sheffield United that I'll show you afterwards that I wanted to sign but couldn't get round to because our reputation wasn't good enough. So he comes from Sheffield United. He's our new left back and centre back. Provide a bit of competition for Linz Foster over in the left. As it says there, he is 27, an important player in his prime years. 3.5 star current with 4-star potential. At 27, he's not really going to get much more than what he is right now, but his stamina shows that he's long lasting. His work rate's brilliant, his determination's brilliant. It's hopefully going to be a hard working fullback, and that's what I want. That leads us into Joseph Burchison, our biggest buy at 15.5 million. He is a 20-year-old English striker whose acceleration and pace and stamina and his physicals are just incredible. With his composure and his finishing, his first touch, his technique, his work rate, everything about this guy screams amazing. If we go into information, it shows there that the medium comparison could be the next Michael Owen. Obviously, for those that know Michael Owen was awesome, especially when it was at Stoke and Liverpool. The other sort of clubs, maybe Newcastle and that, probably not so much, but fantastic nonetheless, world class. First English Ballon d'Or winner, I think, in fact, in 2001 or something like that. So yeah, this guy could be the real deal. I think he's our highest earner at this point as well, 37,500 there. He is formerly of Wolves. He went on loan to Grasshoppers and to Coventry last year, earning 16 goals for Coventry in the Championship. For us so far, he's got 4 goals in 5 with a 7.46 rating that you can see there at the season stats. This leads me into the new formation. So this is going to be our formation for the season pretty much. I've got rid of the narrow 4-4-2. Now we've got the 4-3-3 wide. We've got the 4-2-3-1 that we used a lot of last season. And now we've got a 4-3, I want to say 1-2, but it's more of a 4-3-3 in my head. But a more narrow attacking 4-3-3, trying to control the counter-attack, I suppose, a bit more. And rather than trying to stretch us across the whole pitch, I'd rather have us not congregated in the middle, but at least creating a channel for ourselves to sort of work through in the middle. That's the plan, anyway, to give us a bit of counter fluidity. That's what that's going to be. So we're going to have a ball-winning midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder, and then we'll have a a roaming playmaker to try and get the work going in the middle, with an attacking midfielder on support for the 2 at the top and between the 2 opposite in the box-to-box sort of roles. With that then, obviously, like I said, we're going to focus play through the middle. We don't want too much attacking width. We're still going to keep the tempo and the passing direct as per what we normally go with. In transition then, counter press, counter and distribute quickly, distributing to the centre backs, hopefully not taking long kicks. And we're going to sort of sit back a little bit with a standard defensive line, and we don't want to sort of be engaging too high up the pitch because that's going to leave space for them to sort of run into us. With the tackling, we want to be getting stuck in. Defensive line, we want to be dropping off a little bit because we don't want to be getting overstretched. So we'll give them a bit of space. I was even looking to maybe come to bring them to trap them inside, but then that stretches them to bring our guys out. Whereas if I want to trap them on the outside, that's just inviting the crosses in. So I don't really want to do any of that. Just let the guys take it as needed there. Right. See. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go here. So, looking at season preview then, as you can see, we are bottom. So far bottom that it's unreal. 1,000 to 1 to win the title. Obviously, 1,000 to 1 we are not winning the title. That's fine. But I'd like to think we could have separate odds to avoid relegation next week. If we look over here to the right hand side then, key players, and we drag this down. Our key players are all the way at the bottom. So, yeah, our key 2 players apparently Adam Anderson and Kane Taylor. It doesn't mention our newest striker. Talking about striker, this is the guy that I wanted to sign. So he's gone to Stoke. This is the guy that I wanted to get. It would have been our main striker. As you can see, all his physicals and mentals and technicals and everything, all great. From Sheffield United there. He's got 17 in 44 for them. 21 also English. Would have been awesome to pick him up, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We will march on without him. Taking into account this then, if we go over to stats, we can see team detail. We scroll down to the bottom here. Salary. We are spending 19 million per year as opposed to Norwich's 50 million and Stoke's 55 million per year. We've spent obviously 29.5, or almost 30 million, all but 200k. That puts us in 16th position, I think, for being spenses. I'm not too sure, but we can check that as well. Net transfer spend. That put us in 16th. It does not. Where does it put us? 7th for net spend this season. The only thing that's going to have on here is obviously Chelsea at the minute, because Chelsea's the only one that have played a game so far. So I'm not going to look too much through the team stats on there. I would just like to say that player we had down as our key player there, Adam Anderson. I'd just like to say, in the information I saw that he... Now obviously, you'd be forgiven for not knowing who that is. So I'm just going to read a bit off my screen here that I found on Wikipedia about this Harald Nielsen. Quite interesting, to be fair. Harald Nielsen made his debut for the Danish national team on the 13th of September in 1959 against Norway in Oslo. As the young Danish national team player ever, only 17 years and 322 days old, he scored a single goal in the 4-2 win. He spent 11 glorious years playing at the highest level, including the 1960 Olympics, finishing as the top scorer in the tournament, and Denmark finishing runner-up. Ultimately, Harald Nielsen died on the 11th of August 2015. On the 26th of October 2016, which would have been his 75th birthday, the square in the front of Arena North in Frederikshavn was named the Harald Nielsen's Plads in his honour, which is the first club that he played at, I believe, in 1959. On 9th of July 2018, an 8-foot tall statue of Harald Nielsen in his youth was unveiled on his square, which is the largest statue of a footballer in Denmark. A prize is now given out each year called Årets Guld Harald in his honour. More can be found at the link in the description if you want to have a look at that. The other player I just wanted to show you, Joseph Burgess, who has been labelled the next MacLeod, is born in Wolverhampton. Alright, we'll take that. I was looking through a couple of the squad things as well. Joe Tomlinson, in fact, has got me down as his favoured personnel alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and David Beckham. So I'll allow this. Looking ahead then to the schedule, you can see that the first 3 games are played as a 4-2-3-1, which is the normal 4-2-3-1 that was playing last year. And this is how we sort of laid out. It was sort of 5-2 win, 1-0 loss and a 2-1 win. Then I came up with that new formation that I've just showed you, where we had a 3-0 win over Bucky, a 1-1 draw with Arsenal, and then a 2-1 win here. So the first game is going to be Manchester United, which is televised away, which is going to be welcome to the Premier League. Bang, here we go. Then we've got a couple of games later, we've got Man City at home, and then we've got Oxford in the Carabao Cup second round. So these 4 games are going to be crucial to starting off the season well. We will be doing the first episode on Monday with Manchester United and Leicester, and then the second episode on the Wednesday will be Man City and Oxford. 4 big games, 2 great episodes. Look forward to seeing you there. May as well show them both, especially first time in the Premier League. I'm not ruling it out, but I might dip into the loan market as we get closer towards the end of the season. Not the end of the season. Be pointless then, wouldn't it? End of the month where the transfer market closes. Thank you. Drop a like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the very next episode. Thank you for watching.